Greetings, YouTube. I'm Michael Romeo, and I talk about books. So today I am actually talking about two specific books. One I just finished, and one I just started. If you saw one of my previous videos last week, you know that April was a very busy month, and I didn't get to read all that I wanted to read in the month, so it spilled over into May. So I finally, while I was concentrating on reading Arthur Hailey for April, I finally finished my second Arthur Hailey book called Strong Medicine. And just a brief review of it. It is a very good book. Usually I count his books as excellent, but this is not one of his better ones. But when you're an author as good as Arthur Hailey is, even though your book is not one of your better ones, your book is still really good. It was very suspenseful. It centers on a woman named Celia, who in the 1950s becomes a pharmaceutical salesperson, which was a male-dominated job field. And she breaks in. She breaks that glass wall that was keeping women out. Proved herself and moves up through the ranks. And the higher up she gets into the ranks, the more aware she becomes of the dirt that is down here, that is going on about the ones that you can't trust, and the ones who are doing things to harm you, harm the company, doing stupid things that will come back on the company later on. And he puts all these things into place at different parts of the story and then moves on and lets the planting grow, so that when you get another 100 pages into the story, it pops up again, and this time it's got a bat in its hand and it's going to hurt somebody. Great story, following Celia's career through the ranks of the pharmaceutical industry, and just the trials and stuff she has to deal with. Not just the male chauvinism, but just people who can't be trusted. One in particular, this is a character you just want to smack every time he's on a page. You just want to hit the page and hopefully smack him. But anyway, but it's like her nemesis throughout the story. The ending leaves some things unresolved, but it's a feeling of, yeah, it's unresolved, but nothing in life is ever 100% resolved, and life just goes on. And that's the feeling of the end of the book. That's the vibe you get at the end of the book. Yeah, life is still going to go on. Celia and her family and her friends are all going to survive the latest onslaught. And who knows what's going to happen to the bad guys. But life is just going to go on. And he pulls that off quite well. He doesn't leave you feeling like you've been shortchanged by not having a nice tight ending. He writes it so well that you're satisfied to know that life is just going to go on, and whether it's good or bad, they're going to get through it. So I finally finished that, so now I can start my book for Horror Mayhem. I only picked one book for Horror Mayhem because I knew I had this overspill into April, And here we are, almost halfway through May already, and halfway through. What's today's the 10th? Yeah, pretty close to halfway through May already, and I'm just finally starting the October Country, which is a collection of short stories by Bradbury. Um, I read the first one while working last night, and the only thing I can find, I don't think I can really say about it. I mean, it's impeccably written. Bradbury is a master of the short story form, master writer, period, but especially of the short story. And he draws you in, grabs you, and holds you, and then at the end, just in the case of this first story, just pulls your guts out. Because what happens, what one character does to another character, is just cruel. It's just sheer cruelty. And it's not graphic. It's not. It's just psychologically cruel. And it affects more than one person. And it ends basically with just this very cruel act, which makes that particular story horrific. And I've been led to believe that the stories in this book, all short stories, and I guess there's a couple of novellas in it, are all on the chilling side. Several people have told me that I've picked wisely for Horror Mayhem, so I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the stories in this book. So that's it. That's the end of April, finally ending in May, with the finishing of Strong Medicine and starting the October Country. And somewhere in there, I'm going to continue to chip away at my March Mammoth book, which is, of course, if you watch the previous videos, is Hurry Sundown by K.B. Gilden, 1,535 page book. And just March and April turned out to be more muddled months than I expected. So it kind of drew down on my reading a bit. Hopefully May will change that, and we'll see. Because I also want to take part in June on the Range, which is coming up in June, obviously. 2 books I want to read for that are The Man Who Loved Cat Dancing and Little Big Man, both of which are movies that I've seen. And those of you who watched my channel for a long time know that a couple of times I've mentioned this list of books I want to read where I've seen the movie but never read the book that the movie was based on. Well, these are 2 of them that I want to knock out for June on the Range. I just have a feeling I'm going to be chipping away at Hurry Sundown for pretty much the next several months. Yeah, but I'll get it done because I am enjoying it. It is a good book, very long book, but I also want to get these other books read. There are too many books and not enough time. How many times have you heard that? Yeah, and I'm a slow reader. Not the slowest, but I'm a slow reader. I like to read the detail. I like to soak up not just the story, but sometimes I just want to know how the author did what they did. How did they take these particular words and make a scene that was so suspenseful or so beautiful or so engaging? So I may read paragraphs more than once just to review what that author did. So yeah, I'm a slow reader. I'm not one of these people that plows through a book, and I'm not putting them down. Everybody reads differently. And it just, no, we're talking about books. I love books. And I guess that's about all we're going to talk about today. So we've talked about um, finishing up April, starting May, looking forward to June, and the one that's going to fill in all the gaps. And it's great talking with you guys. Leave your comments down below. Have you read any of these books that I'm reading? If so, let me know. What would you read for Horror Mayhem? What would you read for June on the Range, which is all about westerns? Have you read author Hailey? Who's your favorite author from the 20th century? Um, Anything you want to talk about, because I will jump in and I will talk. Um, and I guess that's it. So, as always, love y'all. Keep reading. It's an awesome thing to do. There are many books out there to capture, and they'll take you places sometimes you never expected to go. So, take care. Talk to you again soon.